Okay, so the recording has started, and as you guys know, today we have a quiz on MS Teams. So again, it will be an MCQ based quiz with 10 questions, and you guys will have approximately 1 minute per question to solve the quiz. Okay? And I mean, the syllabus has already been shared with you guys, so I hope you guys have prepared. And we just wait a couple of minutes so that some more people join, and then I share the quiz with you guys. Okay, I have assigned you guys the quiz. You guys have until 12:15 to finish the quiz. Okay, so please submit before that time because at that time it's a cutoff time for the quiz. Have you guys started the quiz? I mean, is it accessible, the quiz?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. 2 minutes left. Kindly those who have not yet submitted, please submit it as soon as possible. Okay, so time is going to end. Please submit it. Those who have not yet submitted. Okay, that's done. And now coming back to the class, if you guys have any questions regarding whatever we have studied so far. Any questions regarding the video lectures?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर अभी तक ये जो जितनी प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है ये मतलब ये इस वजह से आ रही है कि जो स्केड्यूलर है हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, तो हम ऐसा कुछ नहीं कर सकते कि स्केड्यूलर ही कंट्रोल कर ले.
No, because it's not, I mean, when you get an operating system, most of the programmers, when they get an operating system, the scheduler is already written. Okay, so the scheduler comes with the operating system. Okay, so there broadly we can categorize operating system into two categories depending on whether you have access to their code or not. Okay, so there are closed source operating systems like Windows and Apple, etc., Mac OS, etc., which you get only the installation or the executable, but not the source code. Okay, so there you can't, I mean, you can't mess with the scheduler at all, okay, directly by changing its code. Then there's other category of operating systems which we call open source operating system, okay, in which you have Unix, Linux, and some other operating systems. So there you get the operating system, but you also get the source code. Okay? So what will happen is that when you get the source code, if you can understand the source code, you can go ahead, change the scheduler in any way you want, and then you can recompile and run that operating system, okay, with a change scheduler on your system. Okay, in that case, you will be controlling the scheduler. But the problem is not that you control it on your system. The problem is when you write a program, you have to give it to different users or customers to run that program. Okay? So even though you have rewritten and recompiled the operating system on your system and you control the scheduler of the operating system on your system, but the customers who are using your code or your application, their which operating system they have installed, and I mean, how does their scheduler work? You do not necessarily or almost never control the scheduler of your customer, okay, your customer's operating system. So in that case, you don't have direct control because the application is going to be run on multiple systems, and you don't know which operating system they will be using and which computer, etc. So because of this, I mean, we don't talk about modifying or controlling the scheduler directly, but we use different techniques or different methods provided by the operating system in which we can influence the execution of our own threads or our own applications. Okay, so we can make our threads wait, we can implement mutual exclusion between our threads, etc., etc.
Yes.
So we do it indirectly. Okay, very good. It's a very good question, but the problem is we do not control everything running on the customer's system.
Thank you, sir.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
सर ये वीडियो लेक्चर जो आप यूट्यूब पे अपलोड कर रहे हैं इन पे अटेंडेंस लगाना मैंडेटरी है
जी,
और इसकी क्या है सर डेडलाइन क्या है, कब कितनी देर से पहले हम कर सकते हैं ये?
deadline was today, I think, but since the university has like increased
Yes.
the semester by 1 week, then I guess next Wednesday is good. You
Okay sir.
watch the lectures and mark the attendance till Wednesday, and then we will upload the attendance on CMS,
सही।
and you will
Sir,
have
can
1
you
day
also
to.
relax? Sir, could you also relax the deadline of the assignment?
No,
Yes sir.
no, because the assignment was made keeping in mind that the semester was finishing this week, so I deliberately made the assignment very small. Like the amount of code that you guys have to write in the assignment is like maximum 15-20 lines. Okay, so the assignment is not long. Only you have to understand some concepts and just control the execution of threads using locks and condition variables. That's all. And most of the implementation is, if you study the chapter on producer consumer, most of the implementation you will find it in that chapter.
Sir,
Yes.
could you make the deadline 1 day longer, like extend it by 1 day? Because tomorrow we've got like project vivas and stuff, so it might not be feasible for us, please.
I understand, but the deadline was given like a week ago. It's not today that I've released the deadline. So you guys should have done some planning. I extended the first deadline, but that was the last deadline that I was going to extend. I already told you that. Any other questions?
सर ये जो आप ये क्लास लेते हैं ना सर, अभी ये क्लास ले सिर्फ इसकी अटेंडेंस काउंट होती है या कुछ और भी है इस तरह अटेंडेंस वगैरह?
No, these classes plus the viewing of online lectures. All
सर
the
उस पे
lectures.
तो मैंने नहीं डाली है सर, उस पे तो मैंने नहीं किया।
Then please do it.
सही है
Please
सर।
do it. You have till Wednesday to view all the lectures and
सही
mark
है
your
सर।
attendance over there. Make a comment, write your name and registration number below the
सही है
video.
सर।
Any other question? If you guys are not asking questions, I'll start asking questions from you guys. Okay, so let us start in the order in which I see you guys on MS Teams. 2018-005. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you please answer the question, what is a thread?
Sir, thread काम करता है. It works like a process, and
I mean, there must be some difference. If it is exactly like a process, then we won't be calling a thread and a
sir,
process a
it's
process.
part of a process, like a segment of a process. And
We don't use the segment, but yes, it's a part of process. Good, good. And what else? So,
सर थ्रेड्स की लिस्ट्स होती हैं, मल्टीपल थ्रेड्स होते हैं एक्सेट्रा इस तरह.
multiple threads, like there are multiple processes also running on a system. So, what do you mean when you say there are multiple threads?
तो जैसे हम प्रोड्यूसर कंज्यूमर प्रॉब्लम्स में थ्रेड्स को यूज करते हैं.
So, I mean, you are saying different things, which may or may not be correct in their individual context, but how do they relate to the question that I have asked? Like there, you said there are threads in producer-consumer problems. Yes, there are threads in producer-consumer problems, but the question was, what is a thread? Okay, so we move to the next student, 2018-028. Are you there?
जी सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Sir, a thread is the unit of execution within a process. This is the basic definition.
Okay, so this is the, I mean, precise technical definition of the thread. Very good. So we'll move to 2018-028. 2018-028. What does your friend means that when he says thread is a unit of execution within the process? What does this statement mean?
सर थ्रेड काम करता है प्रोसेस की तरह, मतलब एग्जीक्यूशन के लिए यूज होता है. जैसे हम जैसे एग्जांपल्स में यूज होता है कंज्यूमर प्रोड्यूसर्स के अंदर, लॉग्स के अंदर.
Yes, but in that case, if it works like a process, then what is the difference between a thread and a process?
सर थ्रेड एक सेगमेंट है, बस उसमें इतना स्पेसिफिक डिफरेंस नहीं होता.
There are specific differences between processes and threads. Okay, so if you don't think there's a difference, then we'll move to 2018-064. Can you help us with this problem? (2018-064). Are you there? (2018-064). Yes, you want to say something? 2018-064, you have raised a hand. (2018-064). Are you there? Okay, so the mic is not working, then you can type in chat. What is the difference between a process and a thread? The thread shares memory with each other. Very good, very good. Okay, so thread shares memory with each other. So what part of the memory is shared between threads and what part of the memory is not shared between threads? Process has its own stack and everything, but thread shares it. Here I think this statement is not entirely correct. When you say process has its own stack and everything, but thread shares it, this statement is not totally correct. They share global data variables, very good, and they like in heap. Okay, global variables are not in heap, but threads do share global data variables, global members, good. And do the threads share heap or not? Do all threads in a process share the same heap or not? Okay, good, they share the heap. And do all threads in a process share the same stack or not? No, good. Okay, so threads do not share stack. Within a process, each thread has its own stack. Okay, so I hope all of you are clear on this, that threads are part of a process. They can execute independently. They share many things, many parts of the memory, like global variables, the data segment. They share the code segment. They share heap, but they do not share the stack segment. Okay, each thread has its own stack. Okay. Very good, 2018-64. You can lower your hand and we can move on to the next student. 2018-116. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if, as your friend said, within a process, all the threads, they share global variables. And if we share global variables between multiple threads of the same process, and all of these threads are writing in those global variables, modifying those global variables, what can happen?
I'm sorry, sir. What global variables? I didn't understand.
There are multiple threads in the same process.
Yes.
They're sharing some global variables, and they're all modifying those global variables, the same global variables. Okay. So what can happen? Do we need to worry about something in this case?
So we can use the global variables, but sometimes they can be a little bit confusing. Na?
What do you mean by confusing? How can global variables be confusing?
सर ये ग्लोबल वेरिएबल से सर थोड़ा मतलब कोड में मसला आ जाता है ना क्योंकि वो हर जगह यूज होते हैं.
Okay, so what can be a problem if you use global variables?
मतलब सर किसी प्रोसेस में कोई ग्लोबल वेरिएबल यूज होता है तो मतलब अगर सेम वेरिएबल के किसी और प्रोसेस में भी होता है तो मतलब उसमें कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगी दो प्रोसेस के उस बीच में.
What kind of confusion can happen between two processes? By the way, we are not talking about two different processes. We are talking about two different threads, okay? But the same thing applies. The same thing applies. So what kind of confusion can happen between two threads if they are using the same global variables?
Sir, when the process is running, in fact, the thread is a basic part of process. When the process is running, the thread is also running within it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, sir, I think that it does not allocate the time properly when we use the global variables.
What do you mean by does not allocate the time properly?
Means the
Okay, so I think you can get some benefit from reading the chapters, viewing the lectures again, and updating your concepts. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. We go to 2018-129. Are you there? 129. Twenty 129. Are you there? Okay, this was our third and last call, just like Nilam sir. So we move forward. 146.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you please help us in answering the question, what can go wrong if multiple threads within the same process are using and modifying the same global variables? They are sharing the global variables and modifying it. So what can happen? Do we need to worry about something?
यस सर, ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि कभी कभी वेरिएबल का जो हम आंसर चाह रहे होते हैं ना वो आउटपुट नहीं आता, क्योंकि वो थ्रेड्स में ना म्यूचुअल एक्सक्लूजन नहीं होती.
Good. If there is no mutual exclusion between threads, then they can corrupt each other's values of those global variables, and this will basically give us incorrect result in the end. Okay, and it will corrupt our calculations. Very good. And what is this this thing called, this situation, what is it called when there is no mutual exclusion between threads and they are modifying global variables and corrupting each other's values?
Sir, I think race condition.
Very good. It's called race condition. And what is the basic cause for race condition? Why does race condition occur?
सर वो स्केजुलिंग के दौरान ना इंटरप्ट हो जाते हैं, तो वो थ्रेड्स ना मतलब इस गलत तरीके से स्केड्यूल हो रहे होते हैं, तो इस वजह से मेरे ख्याल से रेस कंडीशन.
Very good. The basic problem is due to scheduling, because the schedule is not in our control, so it can context switch between threads at any time, and it might happen that thread has updated some value in the register, and it has not yet updated the variable in the RAM. Okay, so it might get descheduled before updating the value in RAM. Another thread may get scheduled. It will read the old value, update it, let's say 1,000 times, and then it will get descheduled. The old thread will get scheduled again, and it will try to write the old value that it had in the RAM. This will overwrite all the updates that have been done by the second thread, which was scheduled between the two occurrences of the first thread. Okay, so basically it is because of uncontrolled scheduling. Very good. So we move next to 2018-195.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you heard your friend explain us that due to these multiple threads accessing shared global variables, modifying them, and due to uncontrollable scheduling, there might happen a race condition due to which threads might corrupt each other's values. So how can we prevent this race condition from happening?
सर हम इंटरप्ट्स को सर लॉक कर देते हैं.
Interrupts might not have anything to do with it. This has.
सर पे मुझे नहीं याद सर, टाइम हो गया पढ़े चैप्टर को.
Okay, then please, you are also advised to reread these chapters, watch those YouTube lectures, because you have like about 10 days in your exams, and a revision would be good for your grade.
Okay, sir.
2018-202.
Yes, sir.
Can you please help us explain how, when there is multiple threads accessing modifying global variables, how can we, and there's a race condition which is corrupting our values, how can we prevent a race condition from happening?
Sir, atomicity or locks को use करके.
Okay, and if we use atomicity and if we use locks, what will we actually be doing to prevent the race condition?
सर एटॉमिसिटी में तो ये होता है ना कि अगर भी ऑपरेशन एग्जीक्यूट होता है तो वो या तो पूरा होता है या तो फिर वो नहीं होता.
Okay.
एंड सर लॉक्स में हम क्या कहते हैं, सर प्रिवेंट कर देते हैं कि वो हमारे क्रिटिकल सेक्शन पे जो है वो ना जाए, लॉक कर देते हैं, एक वक्त में एक ही क्रिटिकल सेक्शन को एक्सेस कर सके।
एक वक्त में एक ही वक्त क्या चीज़ एक्सेस कर सके क्रिटिकल सेक्शन को?
सर थ्रेड।
Good. Okay, so we use locks to ensure that only one thread can enter a critical section at any given time. Okay, very good. And what is a critical section?
सर वो ऐसा कोड होता है जो शेयर हो रहा होता है उसमें बाकी सारे थ्रेड्स के साथ।
The code is being shared between different threads. I mean, all the code is shared between all the threads.
सर मतलब वो ऐसा कोड होता है जो मतलब एग्जीक्यूट होता है तो मल्टीपल थ्रेड्स के साथ होता है और फिर मतलब रेस कंडीशन कॉज कर सकता है।
Yes, but there can be, let's say I have a printf statement, printf hello world, sorry, cout or printf hello world in all my threads. Okay, the thread contain only one statement, cout printf hello world. So all of these threads, they are sharing this same code. I am running, let's say 10 threads. All of these threads, they are running the same code, and I mean, they are sharing the same code. So is it a critical section? Is there race condition in this code?
नहीं सर, मतलब वो जैसे हमारी एग्जांपल में था काउंटर काउंटर +1, उनकी असेंबली लैंग्वेज में सर 3-4 मतलब वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस बन रही होती हैं, वो अपडेट भी करता है जाके रजिस्टर में वैल्यू, तो सर वो वाला मेरा ख्याल क्रिटिकल सेक्शन होता है।
Yes, it was a critical section, but our question is, how do we identify if a piece of code is a critical section or not? How will you know? If I show you some code in a program, how will you know whether this piece of code is critical section or not? For example, I just gave you this example of printf.
सर इसका मुझे नहीं आता सर सही से।
No, critical section is related to race conditions. So if a code is a critical section, it means this code can cause race conditions. So how can we identify if this code can cause race condition or not? Okay, so if you are not responding, then we move to 2018-208.
Yes, sir.
Can you please help us answer the question, if given a piece of code in a program, how can we decide whether this particular code in a program is a critical section or not by looking at it?
Sir, suppose that multiple multiple processes are sharing multiple global variables,
Okay.
and
Achha, by
that
the way, sharing can happen between different threads, different processes also. But what we have studied is that global variables are shared between different threads, okay, not different between
yes,
processes.
yes. So
If you want
suppose
to
if
share,
yes,
sorry, just to complete my parenthesis, if you want to share data between threads, the same kind of problem arises, but sharing data between threads is not automatic. Okay? Global variables are not automatically shared between, sharing data between processes is not automatic. Okay? And global
okay,
variables are not automatically shared between processes. If you want to share data between processes, then you have to request the operating system, and the operating system will share that data for you between different processes, and the same kind of problems will arise when we modify shared data between different processes. Okay,
sorry.
but in our book or in our lectures, we have concentrated mainly on threads, because sharing data between thread does not involve the operating system, and global variables are automatically shared between all the threads. Okay, so please go ahead now.
So suppose you have multiple threads, and as you said that they are sharing global variables. So if they're not being atomically handled, then we can consider that this is not a critical section. Whereas if they're being atomically handled, then we're going to assume that that particular piece of code is a critical section, right?
Let's take this example of counter is equal to counter plus 1 being done in different threads. Would you call it a critical section? Is it being atomically handled?
So which example?
The example that we studied, there's a global variable called counter, which is shared between all the threads. And multiple threads, they are doing this counter is equal to counter plus 1 operation in a loop.
सर वो मुझे याद नहीं, रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा.
चलें ठीक है, please do so as we are nearing the exams. So okay, so we move to 2018-272.
Yes, sir. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. So can you please help us answer this question, that how would you identify, given a piece of code or a program, whether a particular section of that program, a particular code is critical section or not?
Sir, if it is a critical section, it will be under a lock, normally a mutex lock.
Yes, but what if it is not under a mutex lock? Is it not a critical section then?
सर फिर उसके बाद इंटरप्शन आएगी.
Interruption? Why?
सर क्योंकि सर अगर लॉक नहीं होगा तो क्रिटिकल सेक्शन में इंटरप्शन आएगी.
No. We are not talking about whether it will be like interrupted in the middle or not, descheduled in the middle or not. We are saying, will that portion of code still be called a critical section or not, if there is no lock being used?
Sir, I'm not sure.
Okay. Who can answer this question then?
Sir, if that critical section has an if it accesses a shared variable, then we will consider it a critical section.
Whether it uses locks or not, does it matter?
Yes.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Calling it a critical section, will it be still called critical section if it does not use a lock?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. So I hope it is clear to everybody that in multiple threads, any code that is modifying global variables is qualified as critical section. Okay. Then, I mean, once we have a critical section, then we think, okay, we have to secure this critical section, we have to implement mutual exclusion in this critical section, and then we use locks. Okay. It's not that we use locks because of that it is called critical section. It is critical section before we use locks because it is modifying global variables. Okay. Critical section is any code that causes race conditions. Okay. And race conditions, as we have just discussed, are usually caused by when multiple threads, they are accessing global variables and modifying those global variables. Okay. This can corrupt our results and cause race conditions. So any code that is modifying global variables will cause race conditions, and that's why we call that code critical section. Okay, so even when it is given incorrect results, it is still called critical section, and to make it behave correctly, we use locks around the critical section. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so once we have the critical section, we will basically use locks around it, and these locks will then, what will these locks do? 2018-324.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So when we have a critical section, we use locks around it. What is the purpose of using locks around critical section?
So that only one thread enters that critical section at a time.
Good. And what do we call this process that only one thread can access enter a critical section at a time?
Mutual exclusion.
Mutual exclusion. Good. Okay. Okay. So let's say you implemented this mutual exclusion. So there's thread 1, which enters the critical section, and it is descheduled. And there's thread 2 that is scheduled to run, and thread 2 also tries to enter this critical section. What will happen? Thread 1 has not yet finished in the critical section. It is still in critical section, but it is descheduled. Thread 2 is now scheduled and run. So what will happen?
Sir, if you are implementing locks, thread 1 will not deschedule unless it's complete.
Yes, you are implementing locks, so you are trying to implement mutual exclusion. So you have implemented locks before and after the critical section. So the answer that you said that it will not get descheduled before it completes is not correct. A scheduler can deschedule any thread at any given time. It doesn't care whether it is in critical section or not. So what will happen if you have implemented locks, etc., around the critical section to ensure mutual exclusion? Your thread 1 acquires the locks, enters the critical section, and in the middle of the critical section, it gets descheduled. And thread 2 is scheduled to run. It tries to enter the critical section. What will happen?
Sir, it will not enter the critical section.
Why?
Sir, because the flag of the lock is 1. Flag will be the lock will be occupied. That's it.
So what will happen? The thread 2, it will also try to acquire the lock and enter the critical section. So what will happen then?
Sir, it will get descheduled after some time, but will not enter the critical section.
Yes, but when it tries to acquire the lock, what will happen? Will it continue to run? Will it return from that acquire function of the lock or not?
No, sir.
So what will it do then? If it does not return from the critical acquire function of the lock, what will it be doing when it is running on the processor?
Sir, it will waste time until it's descheduled.
Okay, that depends on the implementation of the locks, but yes, it will not enter critical section, but it might not necessarily waste time. Okay, so what can happen is when acquiring that lock, it might put it to sleep. Okay, as I said, it might depend on the implementation of the lock. What you described, there are also those kind of implementations also, and they are called spin locks, because until the thread acquires the lock, it keeps spinning. Okay, as you said, it wastes time. This is one implementation, but this kind of implementation basically wastes lots of CPU cycles. So we have other implementations which, instead of spinning, will put such a thread to sleep. Okay, and when it is put to sleep, the scheduler will automatically immediately deschedule it and run some other thread.
Right, sir.
Okay, good, very good. Okay, so we are basically talking about mutual exclusion, locks, etc. So, okay, so 2018-341, we will skip you because you have been participating regularly in, I mean, you have been the only person participating in all the classes regularly. So, 2018-481, are you there? (2018-481), are you there? (2018-481), are you there? This is the last call. Okay, so 2018 129 and 2018 481. No response. Good. 2018 515. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you please tell us what is a condition variable and what is it used for?
Sir, I think I need to revise this. I don't know, sir.
Okay, so tell us something from the last like 3-4 weeks about which you know, and we can ask question at least 1 or 2 question about that thing. Twenty eighteen 515. Do you know what a lock is? Hello, 2018 515. Are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, so do you know what a lock is? What is it used for? Okay, so I think you need lots of revision. You need to catch up on everything that we have studied.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2018 520. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you please tell us what is a condition variable and what is it used for?
The conditional variables are used to satisfy if there is any condition we want to satisfy before executing our code. So सर हम तब condition variables use करते हैं कि हमारी एक condition satisfy हो जाए उसके बाद हम लोग फिर next code की तरफ जाएं.
Okay. And said until that condition is satisfied, what would we do?
सर उसमें वेट का एक है तो जब तक वो कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई नहीं होती तो हमारे जो सेकंड कोड होता है वो स्लीप करता है तो और उसके बाद जब कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो जाती है तो फिर उसके बाद फिर वो वेक करता है उसको सेकंड कोड को तो फिर वो एग्जीक्यूट होता है.
Very good. And what are you calling second code?
सर सेकंड कोड इज कॉल्ड सिग्नल. सर आई मीन कि जब तक हमारी फर्स्ट कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई ना हो तो फिर सेकंड कोड जो होता है वो स्लीप करता है उसके बाद जब फर्स्ट कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो जाती है तो फिर वो सेकंड कोड को वेक करने के लिए वो सिग्नल कॉल करता है.
Okay. So I think what you're calling second code, it's the thread, right? Both are threads, first code and second code. So let's call them second thread and first thread, T1 and T2. So T2 is basically waiting for some condition to become true and it is sleeping. And how will it know that the condition has been satisfied and now it can wake and execute?
सर जब फर्स्ट थ्रेड सिग्नल कॉल करेगा तब सेकंड थ्रेड वेक करेगा.
Very good. Good. Okay, so we move to 2018 529. Are you there?
Sir, I am.
Okay, so can you please tell us what is a deadlock?
Sorry, sir.
Can you please tell us what is a deadlock?
Sir, so deadlock is basically a lock which has, sir, infinite condition. So when a lock is used and there is a condition in the status quo that it will be for like infinite time, so that is a situation, then we call it a deadlock.
I do not completely understand this thing that deadlock is a condition. Deadlock is a lock which has an infinite condition.
No, see, matlab, the crux of it is in a way that the lock will be used. It's basically an infinite lock, and
What do you call an infinite lock?
so deadlock is an infinite lock. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's you giving us a recursive definition. Deadlock is an infinite lock, and infinite lock is a deadlock. So we are like turning around in circles. So when you use the term infinite lock, because a lock is, as we discussed with your friends right now, lock is a data structure that we can acquire and release. Okay, it's a data structure. So what is when you call an infinite lock? What is an infinite lock?
Sir, I think I'm confused with what you want to ask. Can you please repeat it?
Yes, in one of the lectures that I have uploaded, I think it's a lecture on semaphore and a lecture on concurrency bugs. There's a term used called deadlock.
Yes, sir, I know.
We just wanted to know what is a deadlock.
Sir, if my previous characterization was wrong, then I think the second thing that's coming to my mind, it's maybe it's always in a sleeping condition, and it never gets to the critical section of the code. Probably, if that's what you're asking.
What is in a sleeping condition?
Sorry?
You said it's in a sleeping condition. So what does it mean? It is in a sleeping condition.
It was signifying the thread in my context, thread.
So the thread is in a sleeping condition.
Yes, sir.
It might never get to the critical section. And why would that happen? Why would that happen? Sorry, I didn't quite capture what you said. Due to what?
Sir, I am saying that actually the fact of the matter is na कि I think it's kind of confusing when I'm explaining it. So I'll just use an analogy. So because of the fact that one thread is not unlocking in the case ना, one एक thread होगी जो unlock नहीं हो रही होगी. उसकी वजह से because of the fact.
Wait a minute. Just use some precise terminology. What do you mean when a thread is not unlocking? Do you mean a thread is not releasing a lock? Something like this?
Sir, I am saying that exactly what अभी आपने जो बात बोली है ना कि एक थ्रेड से रिलीज नहीं हो रही है, उसे क्या कहते हैं, लॉक रिलीज नहीं हो रहा है इसलिए क्योंकि इनफाइनाइट कंडीशन है, तो उसमें ये हो रहा होगा कि ये एक फॉरएवर स्लीप कंडीशन में होगी हमारी थ्रेड, और वो जो है कभी भी क्रिटिकल सेक्शन में नहीं जाएगी because of the fact that it's sleeping in the first place.
Okay, and when will this infinite sleep condition occur? You said it has acquired the lock, right? Let's call this thread T1. So this thread has acquired the lock, right, or not?
The other one, that in the deadlock condition, जो है.
No. How many threads are in your analogy?
So they are. Oh my god! I think there are two. What I am trying to say.
Let's call them T1 and T2. Okay, just to be clear. Okay, now go ahead.
So what I am saying that when this one when the deadlock condition is used on this one thing, then what actually happens is that
when you call this one thing, what do you mean by thing, and what do you mean by deadlock condition? To use the terminology that we have studied that there are threads which execute. We have studied that there are locks that are data structures. We have studied threads can acquire locks. We have studied threads can release locks. Okay, so use
Yeah,
this
I'm
kind of
not
terminology.
using I'm not using those terminologies because then I'm not able to explain myself. So that is why I am trying to make it layman so that मुझे भी समझ आ जाए और आपको भी आ जाए. But yet again, I'll try to be more. I'll try to use your nomenclature. So what
Okay.
I'm saying is that कि ये thing जो है ये thread है.
Okay.
और मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि होता ये है कि अब जब एक के ऊपर सर इनफाइनाइट लॉक कंडीशन लग चुकी होगी ना.
एक मिनट. What do you mean by infinite lock condition लग चुकी होगी? Let's say this thread starts, okay, and let's say there's a lock somewhere globally shared between threads L1, L2, whatever you call it, okay. So as this thread starts executing, let's call it T1, it tries to acquire the lock.
Sir, this is making even more difficult. आप इसको थोड़ा आसान करते हैं.
No, because the terminology that you are using, infinite condition, infinite lock, infinite sleep, these are quite vague, and unless we know exactly the meaning of everything you're talking about, it will be like confusing all of us. So that's why we are trying to return to your terminologies that are used in the book, which are like common to all of us. We all know what do they mean, and in terms of that, we are going to try and define the definition of a deadlock. I mean,
okay, sir.
You have the basic idea that there is something which is causing, all the threads are blocked, there is no progress, etc., which I think you are calling infinite sleep. So you have the overall general idea, but we are trying to be specific as to why a deadlock is called and in which situations deadlocks can happen.
Okay, sir.
So if you can use those kind of terminologies like thread T1 starts, it acquires locks, L2 it releases locks, it gets scheduled, it gets descheduled. Similarly, T2 starts, schedule, deschedule locks, acquire locks, release locks, etc.
Okay. So I'll try to do that, sir.
Sure.
Now अगर ये हो रहा हो कि if अगर एक lock acquire हो चुका है,
Good.
एक lock acquire हो चुका है because of
By
the fact.
by whom?
Sorry.
By whom? By which thread?
Okay, अगर T1 ने एक lock को acquire कर लिया है.
Very good. So let's say T1 has acquired the lock L1. Good.
Exactly. So in this case, what actually happening is that they are you holding the resources. मतलब उन्होंने resources को ना अपने पास stuck किया हुआ है.
T1 ने.
जी.
Good. Good.
So the other thread is waiting for T1 to release it, to let go of it, so that इसके पास resource आ जाए.
Good.
So in this situation, when when a thread is waiting for the other one to release it, इसको deadlock कहते हैं, if I am not wrong.
You slightly, it's not correct, because this will happen whenever we use this locks between threads. This condition that you described will happen all the time. It will happen all the time that one thread is holding the lock, it is doing some work, and another thread it's trying to acquire the lock, but it will be blocked because one thread is already holding the lock. Okay, it will be blocked. But this kind of condition will happen all the time in our program. But ultimately, the thread that is holding the lock, it will complete its work and it will release the lock. It will release the lock, and then T2 will get it.
I completely get that. ना, लेकिन all of this was said in my earlier characterization कि ये एक infinite, मतलब इसका exclusive बात ये है कि ये ज़्यादा time के लिए, for a very long time, forever, for infinite time ये हो रहा होगा.
No, okay, let's see. T1 starts, it acquires the lock L1, okay, and while it is holding this lock L1, T2 tries to acquire lock L1, it will block, T2 will block, okay, and now you are saying that T1 will continue holding L1 infinitely. Is it
okay?
No, is that what you said?
No, this is not what I said. I said कि एक T1, सर एक दफा आप please try to listen to me ना. So
Sure, sure.
I'm making it a bit like difficult for everyone to understand.
No,
See,
no,
so
start from beginning, okay?
okay, sir. Okay.
Start from zero.
So सर मैं ये कह रहा
सर
हूँ
उसको
कि
नहीं आता
जो
क्या मैं डाउन कर
Okay, your colleagues want you to summarize, or they are getting impatient. Okay, so try it this time.
ओके सर सो टी एक हमारे पास जो T1 है सर उसके पास लॉक है उसने लॉक लगवाया हुआ है ठीक है और बट it is actually waiting it is waiting for the other one it is waiting for the T2 to finish its execution and at the same simultaneous time the other one is waiting for this first one to finish the execution and that is why it is never going to happen because both of them are doing the same thing.
So you see, now you are slightly closer to what is the definition of a deadlock. So both threads are waiting for each other.
Yes.
To release a resource.
Yeah.
And they are also like okay. So since they are all both waiting for each other, and they both have. Do they both have the same resource, or do they both have the different resources? I didn't hear you.
Sir, I'm saying that they have different resources.
Okay, okay, so that's much better. So there are two different resources, let's say L1 and L2. So thread 1 has L1 and it is waiting for L2.
Yeah.
Okay, and thread 2 has acquired L2 and it is waiting for L1. Okay, so this way they will never release their respective resources that they are holding, and therefore since they are waiting for each other, they will continue to wait forever. Okay, so it's a circular waiting condition.
Yeah.
So this definition is much closer to the definition of deadlock than something that you started in the beginning. Okay, so if your explanations are like what you were saying in the beginning, I'm afraid you won't be getting marks in the exam.
Okay, so I'll try to make them more precise. And
okay, so half of the class doesn't seem to be attending this meeting. So we'll see them in the next class. Okay, so it appears that some of you are following the class, but some of you are like behind on catching up on these video lectures and the reading chapters of the book. So to those I request to please take this time, whatever is left, like 10 days or 12 days before the exam, read up, catch up on everything that is being studied in the class. And if you have any question, we still have the next week in which you can ask me questions. Okay, please do that, otherwise you guys will have problems in the exam. So we'll stop.
Marks upload नहीं किए assignment 1 के.
Assignment 1 I am still checking. There are lots of problems in assignment 1, so I'll upload the marks next week.
Okay sir.
Okay, so I've
सर एक
detected
चीज
some.
और ये अपने पेजिंग के जो लेक्चर्स है वो किस सीक्वेंस में अपलोड किए मैं?
Paging, there's only one chapter on paging. So what do you mean by in which sequence I've uploaded? Let me
सर
see.
YouTube पे वो कोई लेक्चर अभी लेटेस्ट अपलोड हुआ है और कोई एंड पे या
Let me
मुझे
see.
शायद
Wait a minute. If I go to OS videos. Paging TLB intro and then.
सर एक पेजिंग टेबल रिमेनिंग वाला लेक्चर.
So this is let me give you here. This is the title, because we in class, I mean, when we started the paging thing in live synchronous lectures, we didn't finish the chapter. Okay, so this is the title of the chapter or lecture in which we basically summarize some paging and then there is this paging remaining, TLB remaining. I think this is the second part. And then there's paging one. Okay, so I think, okay, let me correct this. I don't know if I can delete this message or not. Okay, delete it. So there is paging one, which is like 12.9 and paging 12.23. And then this is 31. Okay, so let me see what is in paging one. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this is the first one on paging. Let me. This is the title of the one, which is the first one on paging. And then I think it is this one, paging recap and TLB intro. And then I think the chapter continues on TLB. So then you have TLB remaining. So I think it is in this order. We start with paging and then we go on to TLBs. Okay, any other question?
अच्छा सर आप बता सकते हैं पेपर फिजिकल होंगे या ऑनलाइन?
We also don't know yet. There is some discussion going on in the higher circles, and I think they'll be deciding it soon, in a couple of days, today or tomorrow or something like that. So they have still not decided and announced it yet.
ठीक ठीक.
Any other question? No. So okay,
yes
thank you.
sir.
Yes, please.
सर मैं थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज्ड हूँ सिलेबस में
जी जी.
पेजिंग से रिलेटेड वो आफ्टर TLBs
Yes.
have you covered advanced mechanisms such as swapping?
No. Let me see the list of chapters. So we have covered paging, we have covered TLBs, and we have covered, no, we have not covered small variables. So we have covered, let me go and think. You're looking at the book website?
जी sir.
Okay, so there is this chapter 18, intro to paging, that we have done. 19, translation look aside buffer, that we have done, and advanced page tables, etc. That's we have not done. Okay, 20, 21, 22, 23 we have not done.
Okay sir, thank you.
Okay, so basically, okay, so you can ask this question in next revision class, because right now we don't have time. So I'll just give you a couple of lines of introduction. What is swapping? Okay. Any other question? Anybody has got?
सर जी बस करते हैं सर, बस नेक्स्ट क्लास में करेंगे.
चलें, ठीक है, ठीक है. So next week we'll try to do revision. So try to go through things and come up with as many questions as you have. Okay, so we can revise things. Okay, so now thank you very much for your patience, and we'll end this class here. Okay, so I'll stop the recording and leave the meeting.